welcome to GeekFest. It's noon, so we're gonna get started. Welcome to GeekFest again, and welcome to Groupon, who hosts us. All the people in the green jackets and quite a few others are here from Groupon. So if can you not hear? Is this not on? So if you if you are interested in working at Groupon by chance, we do a lot of interesting engineering. We have a lot of interesting engineering problems. We do JVM work, Ruby, Node.js, lots of other things. So if you are at all interested, reach out to one of these fine folks in the green jackets, and we'll connect you to a recruiter. Or you can email careers@groupon.com, and that'll get you a direct line. Also, if you're interested at all in speaking at GeekFest, then do let me know. It's geekfest@groupon.com, and that'll come straight to me, and I'll get you on the schedule if you've got an interesting topic. Or if you don't, I mean, you can talk about whatever you want. With that, this is Jaime. He's going to be talking about 3D functionality on the web. So, welcome, Jaime.
All right. Can you guys hear me? Yeah? All right, cool. So, well, first of all, thank you for sharing your lunchtime with me today. My name is Jaime Rosales, and I'm a developer evangelist at Autodesk. How many of you guys know who Autodesk is? Okay. Not that many like I expected, but that's fine. So, well, Autodesk, it's a big software company based we created AutoCAD, so all CAD designs and all that. It's actually what we are big on. So AAC industry, which is construction, manufacturing software, and also visual effects like 3ds Max or Maya. Maybe it will ring a bell to some of you. So today I'm going to talk to you about how the web has started to actually stop being flat, has stopped to being 2D with a couple of technologies that we have available today, like WebGL and 3.js. And let me share to you a couple of examples that we have on how actually WebGL has changed the web. WebGL actually started with a sample like this. Something that it's really eye candy. It's nice to look at, and we have actually good functionality here that it can become available and something that it's really, really attractive to your eye and all that, right? So, and also it's been evolving through the years. One example here is that we also have interaction with our viewer, and different effects of visual effects here using WebGL, they tend to make the web a little bit more attractive to the users. We've been trying to move for quite some time from stop seeing a book or a magazine, flipping pages, to the web, right? But if you think about it, in the web, we kind of are doing almost the same thing. You have your main page, click, go to another one, and everything again stays being flat. But with the functionality that we have with 3D, we can make this more attractive. It can be more attractive for different industries all over the place, e-commerce, construction companies, manufacturing, I don't know, BMW, Mercedes, that are selling your cars and you can actually interact with them. So another sample that I have here, it's created by one of our engineers at Autodesk. And basically it's just a simple interactive particles website. You can play around with it. We'll see what's the flow of this thing here. You can shape your particles to different things. One of my favorite is this one of the horse. So you see how neat and how lifetime is actually this happening. So why keep being flat with the web? We have the tools now to actually make it a more attractive and more eye-candy experience for the daily user. So you guys here at Groupon are big on e-commerce, and I want to show you this example here from an Australian company actually that sells skateboards. I don't know how many of you like skateboards. I do actually. So basically, if you see, we have like some functionality already that we can design our skateboard here. We can change to different colors, textures, and stuff like that. We can customize our wheels. I don't know how this is actually looking. Pardon me for my pick of colors. I just don't want to spend too much time on this. So for example, whenever I'm ready with my skateboard, I can basically just see how it end up and take this guy for a ride. So you see, instead of actually having a picture of a skateboard, we have a way to interact with it. We can see how actually it's gonna look, the product that we are buying. So, like I said before, why keep having like flat pictures on it when we have the tools available now to interact and make the web more attractive for us? So, let me get back to this. So basically, we start with this. So we have different file formats. Let's say for a visual designer, we tend to use either Photoshop or Illustrator. For interior design is AutoCAD, and there's other ones. For industrial design, we have Rhino, SolidWorks, Fusion. And for architects, we have a tool that's called Revit. So traditionally, this is how the workflow goes. So you make up a design, right? Then you have this design and you send it to your client. So now your client needs to figure it out what software he needs to use in order to be able to see it. So if we think about it, there's like some softwares are not available for cheap. We're talking about like licenses of being in the thousands. And so it tends to be like a little bit of a problem for it. So we know that those outputs are like proprietary formats. We have STL that are using now for 3D printing. We have OBJs that are a little bit more universal. And then different ones like the ones from Autodesk and other ones that are not from Autodesk. So basically, the problem with this is that it's extremely lossy when you grab one of those files and you try to, for example, render it into a PDF. So you create a 3D model. You spend time creating a 3D model. But since your client is not going to have the tool available to do it, like to actually see it, you're going to have to actually give him a couple of snapshots or pictures of it. And you tend to lose like all the metadata that it's included in the model. So for example, a construction model, it will come with like parameters, IDs of the windows, the doors, the beams, whatever. Like a car, it will come with the information of the tires, it will come with the information of the engine and things like that. And when you render from a PDF that it was designed on 3D to a 2D, we don't see that information anymore, right? So there is a technology, like I was saying, WebGL, right? Which is a JavaScript API that allows browsers to render 3D. And we know that it's not a W3C standard, but even though everybody is actually supporting it, right? So it is a really difficult technology to master. For some of you that might know the technology, you kind of have an idea that this actually takes some time to become really good at it. So with Autodesk, it came out with a 3D and a 2D viewer, because sometimes, let's say we have a 2D plan of a building, for example. Those are things that we still need to have in 2D. But for the most part, we're doing like 3D stuff here in the web. So basically, it's two sets of APIs. One, that it's an upload of your CAD file, so through a REST API. And another one that lets you see it on the browser through a JavaScript API. The best part about it right now, that it's free. I don't know how long it's going to take like that, but why not get a head start on it? So, for example, like I was saying, a lot of the folks here are like big on e-commerce. So this is my example. When you see this, you see that you have a couple of pictures, you have a price, you have a way to share it, you add to cart, and that's it, right? Not much. What about if I want to see how the tires look for closely, how the seat actually it is? I'd rather just see something like this. Something that I can actually play around with it and see like details of the model. Like if you have an e-commerce that, for example, has this kind of model in it, me as a client, I will get more attracted to buy something like this. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it kind of works better. So the viewer that we came out with, it supports like a lot of different file formats. It's a growing list every day. And the best part about it is that we not only support Autodesk files, we support also the ones from different companies too. Like I was saying, STLs, OBJs, Rhino, SolidWorks. Some of those might ring a bell to you guys. So let me show you a quick demo on how the viewer is actually working. So we have put up together this gallery using one of the latest extensions from Chrome, Polymer. We have a way to actually put up stuff in our website. I tend to go back a little bit from the mic, so if you guys don't hear me, please just raise your hand, okay? And so this website got created in a weekend by a couple of engineers, something pretty simple. It's just a gallery to actually allow you to see the different models. So we can click on other ones here, and you see that actually gets loaded pretty quickly here, and we still have the same functionality of actually being able to navigate through the gallery. So another example is like just seeing the model itself. Like I said, we have access to all the metadata that it's contained in the model. So as you see here, we can get like properties of this, of each part of this model. And another thing that we can do about it, this is just a cool functionality that it's allowed to do. It's actually breaking up the model in a lot of pieces. So you see, if you want to see like very, very specific parts of your model, we can keep breaking it up. And everything gets just like put up together in a way that it lets you see it more into detail. The rendering part of the model, it has like really good like viewing quality. Sorry. And there's like so many other things that we can do with this. So one that I want to show you too, it's it's a collaboration tool that we have. So another thing that I forgot to mention is that this actually works pretty well with mobile devices. For this, we don't need a plugin. As long as we have a browser that supports WebGL, it will become available to you and you are able to use it. So let me just quickly start this, and now you guys can see what I mean. So if you see here, there's a second user that got added to it, which is my iPhone. I'm sorry, I just got out of a really bad cold, so my throat still hurts a little bit. So anything that I control here, you will see that it gets like live collaboration on it. So we can focus on a little part like this. We'll be able to see it in real time, right? So these are like really good functionalities that a user can like come up with. The API is designed for you guys to do any kind of customization that you will like. It is not attached to anything that, for example, the way that the REST API works is we're giving you the translation services for your models to then become available in the cloud. The JavaScript API allows you to do all this kind of functionality. And through JavaScript extensions, you can create different functionalities like the exploding one, the collaboration, and many other ones. So also I have another demo, which is for the AEC industry. I don't know if anyone here is part of that industry, which is the construction one. Anyone? No? Wow, okay. First time. But I just want to quickly show you, like, how do you tend to access elements on a construction model. So this website actually got put together by one of our engineers that was not very JavaScript savvy. He was a full back-end engineer, really old school desktop software and all that. And spending some time on it, he realized how easy actually is to use it. Basically what we're doing here is that we have two viewers loaded at the same time. The first one, which is the top one with a 3D model. The one on the bottom, which is a 2D model, which is the sheet plans that comes with this model. And then here, basically, a quick Google on how to create pie charts with JavaScript, and you can actually just implement it like that. So for example, if we access like different stuff like the system type of this model, the model tends to have like supply air parts on it, and we are able to see it as long as we click on it. So all the IDs of those parts are actually available in it. We have a relationship to, and also to show where a certain part of this is actually viewable. So as you see, we have three places, which is the 3D model, which I'm showing you right here. And then we have other 2D view sheets that actually we can load, and it will point out to us where this pipe is. So as you see here, like whenever I'm selecting, everything it's being changed, and it's showing you what part of the model is actually being looked through. So my point right now is that after you guys seeing this, you're going to think, yes, I'm sold. How do I get started with this? I hope that's what you guys are thinking. So basically, it's simple. You go to developer.autodesk.com. You request a set of keys in order to access the REST API part. And you can tweet me too, and I can help you out to get started. So the stack kind of goes like this. So we have the server-side REST API, like I told you before, that goes through the uploading process, the translation of your model into JSON strings that then the JavaScript API is going to use in order to display it in the web, and the storage part as well. The client-side JavaScript API, the viewing is based on the 3.js technology. It can be embedded into a web page. And at the same time, also, you can add various different JavaScript API extensions to it. Some of our clients have created like these extensions in the viewer that allow you to see elements inside of a building through like a QR code that it's connected to the ID. The similar scenario of what I show you right now in the previous one. And just a little bit more on the server-side workflow. So you register and you create an app. So if I go to this website here, you're going to see that there is access to the View and Data API, which is what I'm talking about today. there's a couple of play videos of some of the companies that are already using it. The best part about this for our clients, or even for developers or enthusiasts like you guys, is that we have people already making money with this. We are not. So it's something that it's really good to actually get a head started and take advantage of it. And we have like an ongoing community that it's being built through forums, blogs, GitHub examples. So we have a full repo with different examples where integrations with Ruby has been done, Node.js, MongoDB, and many other ones. I'm sorry, I'm kind of losing my voice right now. So also we have a setup for a quick starting guide, which is going through 13 easy steps in how to get started. So the first step will be to try the viewer live, which we already done by the demo that I show you. The sign up and sign in process in the website that I just showed you. And then after, you're going to get a set of keys in order to request your access token. Once you do your access token, you're going to create a bucket. The bucket, think about it as a container or wherever you're going to be storing your files. And we have 3 different kinds of buckets. So we have the transient, temporary, and persistent. So transient, basically your model goes away in 24 hours. Temporary, the storage stays there for 30 days, and persistent will stay there until you actually delete it. We have a couple of optional steps as well, just to get bucket details, supported formats, and then the uploading of the file to the bucket. So this is actually the translation part. And like I said, it doesn't have to be specifically only Autodesk files. It can be any other ones too. And this list actually keeps growing and growing. Some files need references, like 3ds Max, for example. You need to reference them in order to be able to see the model. So there is a step here where you're going to be setting up the references for your root file and the linked ones that are going to be included. And then we're going to encode this into a URN in order for our server to identify it and be able to display it in the viewer. The translation file part, and then a way to check the status, and then just view your file. So like I said, the client-side API, it can get started pretty easy. So there's a couple of JavaScript libraries that you need to reference to. Also, when you create your div with the ID of the viewer, this is what it's going to get you started. And then a couple of functions that needs to be added, like the initialize one, that is going to take into consideration the URN, which is the way to identify your model that you already translated, and also the token and the environment that needs to be set up to be Autodesk production. The token, basically, what it's very recommended is that you actually should write your own token service, because this token tends to expire every 30 minutes for security reasons of your file in the cloud. And then the last function that needs to be added is just the load document of everything in order to load the viewer. And we have some resources too, like the developer portal, that I just show you, and then we have like different samples here that many of our engineers have created. And if you see this part here, the VR experience. So using something simple like this, Google Cardboard, how many of you know what this is? Good. Cheaper version of Oculus Rift. So using your phone, you can create your own VR experience. I brought some. I don't think I have enough for everybody, so I kind of want to do it, I don't know, in a fair way in order to give it to you. But also I have some stickers and stuff like that to give away. And so yeah, basically, like, if you guys are like very interested in starting something like this and just to test it, think about it, play around with it. I know I don't know how many of you guys are not developers in this group. You can raise your hand. Okay, that's fine. So basically, there is another way to use this viewer, which is through an iframe. We have a service. It's called A360. Where it can be used also as a collaboration tool with 3D models. So, for example, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I hope some of you guys are too. And there's a way to see also like all these kind of files in the viewer, and then from this part, let me just see. I think I'm just going to show you another thing. So as you can see here, this is actually loading the viewer that I just showed you. This product is actually using the technology. And for those of you that are not developers, there's a way to actually iframe this and put it up in your website. Simply like just getting the iframe of the model that you upload to it. We have different services that will give you back this. Or even if you have like someone that can actually help you out with the setup or just add as an extension to a web application, it will let you do it. And then, like I said, we have different stuff that you can access to it. And also, these lights, I made them available. So if you guys want to copy the link to it, that will be it. And lastly, please just ask and don't be shy. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to raise them up right now.
There's been a lot of security concerns with WebGL asking for your experience.
Yeah.
Concerns with, giving the browsers you request access to the hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Like malicious software that using this framework to mitigate from any of those security concerns and like kind of remove the WebGL layer from using this, or is this just going to be something that sits next to WebGL necessarily, and these can still try and inject?
That is a good question. So I know that, for example, the API, it got built using WebGL and 3.js. I don't know about those security concerns. For what I know from what I've been using it, I think there is a way to actually just block those holes that WebGL actually has. But it will be a little bit more like to investigate directly with the engineering team to actually ask. But if you want to find out about it, I can get back to you. Yeah. Anyone else? Oh, okay. I saw you first, so. Okay. Yeah.
I was interested in the 3D model of the house.
Yeah.
Where you had the black pipes.
Yes.
None of them were connected to each other. They were each on a
This one?
individual floor. Yeah, that top picture, it just looks like there's pipes.
Yeah.
Why aren't they connected?
Why are not that connected?
How do you get a fluid to move in the pipes when they're not connected?
That's probably because it's not actually a model that got well made. Yeah, so it's just probably for a demo purpose. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, it should actually be fully connected in order to get like fluid through it. Or I think also what it can be is that it's checking like a certain material. So there's probably another thing that it's actually connecting it, but it's not made from the same material. So that could be another thing. Yes.
Earlier, when you had the view of the engine, the car,
Yes.
you were blowing it up and pulling it apart and moving around, and you logged into the phone. Is there anything to ensure session security? So if I were to write down that URL right now,
Mm-hmm.
could I start messing with your model?
Yeah. Oh no, like right now?
Yeah, if I were to copy down the URL.
You can, but then after a certain point, it's gonna not become available anymore because of the token service. Yeah, that gets expired. That's one of the reasons that I'm saying, like, whenever you create your application, it's better to actually write your own token service in order to avoid those kind of timeouts whenever you get. For example, if I leave it here on for maybe 10, 15 minutes more and I try to access it again, I'm not gonna be able to do anything to it. And then there was one next to you.
I'm fine.
You good? All right.
You mentioned about VR. You are providing the translation services for VR using
Yeah.
the service.
So basically,
I get a regular.
say that again?
I load a regular 2D image,
Mm-hmm.
and with your service, I should be able to navigate in VR. That's something possible with the service.
Yeah, definitely. I can give you guys URL to actually try some of the samples that we have done, and that way you can try it. I can add it to the slides. Basically, what we're doing with VR is that we're putting two viewers next to each other, and then just loading the same model in both viewers, and recreating the movement on it based on your phone accelerometer. Okay. Basically, that's what it is. But there's other things too that we have like a render VR experience as well. That gives you like more detail on things. And again, doing the same thing, putting one viewer next to each other, and you're allowed to do that. So we don't give you, for example, through the API, the functionality on actually whenever you move left, let's say move everything left. That's something that you will create through the JavaScript API. Okay?
Thank you.
Can you only access this model that you presented your token? Or can anybody access this model that can just have the URL?
No. Okay, so when you create your, for example, your app account, right? You get a set of keys. Those set of keys are the ones that authenticate to your bucket, okay? And then the model gets stored in that bucket. That bucket only will connect through the token that gets authenticated with the set of keys. So the URL, if you send it to someone, it wouldn't do anything. Yeah. Anyone else?
If I like take a picture of a bicycle,
Yeah.
regular camera, is it easy to change it to 3D format?
Yeah, we have some software, actually, and even an iPhone app. It's called 123D Catch. It's the simplest way to actually create a 3D model from something. Let me see if I can quickly show you. So there is other ways, like, for example, using a software that we have, it's called Recap. Recap has a better quality of image whenever you're creating a 3D model, but you will have to take the pictures around your object, like in a better position and all that. So I don't know I seen this kind of thing, like rooms that have like 360 cameras around it. It kind of takes like photos of the entire object that it's inside. That will be something actually better to use in order to create and replicate a better looking 3D model. You can do it with your phone, which is the cheapest way. With 123D Catch, actually, it tells you where to move in order to get the better quality of your model. I think I saw somewhere here, but I don't know. Yeah.
Is the API built into 3D Studio Max or Maya? Or are they completely separate?
Built into? No, it's not. It's completely separate. Yeah. You can actually use models from there with the API, but it's not like part of. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You obviously just talked about the pure 3D Catch. Are there any other programs that are available to kind of get those 3D designs so you can?
I know of Recap 360. Let me see if I can. Yeah, Recap will be something also a little bit more advanced in order to recreate a 3D model. And there's other ones also that we have. For example, we have one for kids that you can actually design a 3D model from just a couple of like geometry shapes and all that. Export it to an STL, 3D print it, grab that STL, drop it into the API, and make it available to actually see on the web. So there is a lot of actually tools out there to create 3D models. But for reality capture, I think Recap will be something better to use. As far as I know, at least from Autodesk. Then probably there is other ones out there, but I'm not aware of them. Any other question? Seems like no.
All right, folks. Well, let's give Jaime a hand. Thanks for coming. Like Jaime said, he's got these Google Cardboard little things for holding your phone to do VR stuff with your phone. Up here, some stickers and stuff. So if you want to come by, ask a question or whatever, and grab one of those on your way out. We don't have enough for everybody, but if you're really interested, come on up and grab one. Again, if you're interested in a career Groupon, reach out to one of us. And thanks for coming. See you next time.
Yeah, I've cut it short because I'm losing my voice. Yeah. Hey. Yep. So, it's on the browser, it's on mobile. I know that, for example, iPhone, after iOS 8, it's supported. Okay. And Android also, since you kind of get like the latest versions of it, and with Chrome and all that,